And if we could please start making our way to our seats, it'd be greatly appreciated. Clerk, if we could have roll call, please.
Mayor Baxter,
Here.
Commissioner Flores, Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Powell,
Here.
Commissioner Sachs, Commissioner Weiss,
Here.
and Vice Mayor Woodward.
Here.
Thank you.
Commissioner Powell, did you need to say something? Your light's on. If everyone would please rise for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
With bowed heads and humbled hearts, dear Lord, most merciful God, him who is able to keep us from falling, we ask that we be blessed from the crown of our heads to the soles of our feet as we seek your help with our affairs today. Bless this meeting with your divine intelligence and help us to make the best use of our own recognizance. Amen. We are a diverse group with diverse opinions here, yet we wish to reach agreement and satisfaction for all. Please share with us your wisdom and your knowledge to help us as we make decisions that will impact this community. Help us to do right by all who are concerned. Amen. And thank you for your heavenly blessings. In your name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Administrator, additions, deletions, substitutions.
There are. Thank you, Madam Mayor. On page 11, 3B2 is a revised motion and title. On page 15, 3C5 is a revised summary. On page 36, 3H7 is a deletion. On page 58, 3U3 is an add-on. On page 63, 3AA is a revised motion and title. On page 73, 4F is an addition. On page 75, 6A2 is an addition. On page 83, 6D2 is a revised motion and title. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. I'll entertain I have a motion by Commissioner Flores, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. On to consent agenda. Would anyone like to pull anything from consent? Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized. Which items? 3E. 3. While we wait, Commissioner Sachs, would you like to pull something else from consent?
Okay, very good. Good idea, Mayor. Yes, if I could, from the consent agenda, I'd like to pull, and this is really for comment. This would be 3C2A on page 13. And second. And also, on the consent agenda, page 55, it would be 3M-4, which is on page 55. Again, this is for statements. And I believe that is it. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you. Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to pull item 3B3.
Okay, so I have. Yes. Two items from Commissioner Sacks, which is 3C2A and 3M4, and then one from Commissioner Weiss, which is 3B3. I'll entertain a motion to
Hold
adopt. Oh, excuse me, Commissioner Powell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can we pull item 3C9, A, B, and C?
What page number, Commissioner?
17?
Thank you. And also, we will pull 3C9, A, B, and C. I will entertain a motion to adopt the rest of consent. I have a first by Vice Mayor Woodward, excuse me, I have a motion by Vice Mayor Woodward, a second by Commissioner Flores. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. I believe we pulled the 3B, oh, forgive me. We will redo that vote. We need to hear, we have a card on 3E2 first. If you will, Commissioner Flores, call them forward.
All right, I have two individuals. I have Maureen Killian and then Sharon Burns Carter. So we have two podiums. You can come up to each podium. This is item 3E2.
Correct. Page 20. Good morning. If you'd please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Maureen Killian. Good morning, Commissioners, county staff, members of the public. Maureen Killian, President of Southeast Florida Recovery Advocates. I am a mother of an adult son suffering from chronic relapsing addiction and a mom that has more friends that have lost their children than has not. I've been advocating in this space for nearly 2 decades. To be clear, I support housing solutions. I support services for people experiencing homelessness, and I support this county's efforts to address these complex and overlapping needs. I'm here today to speak about transparency and accountability, specifically the use of opioid settlement funds. These funds come with legal and moral obligation. They are restricted by Florida Statute 1742 and must be used for opioid-specific prevention, treatment, recovery, and harm reduction. They are not general-purpose housing dollars. They were never intended to remedy systems that already have a dedicated stream of county, state, or federal funding, whether that stream was cut or not. No supplementation. There is growing concern in the community about how these funds are being deployed. We in the BCC Appointed Advisory Committee are hearing conflicting information about tiny house projects at John Prince Park, the use of nonprofit arms of the for-profit treatment centers to access opioid settlement dollars. Given South Florida's history of rogue treatment operators, serious enough to require former State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg's Sober Home Task Force, clear guardrails are not optional, they're essential. Opioid settlement funds are not pass-through dollars. Stewardship is required. Responsibility, outcomes, liability, and adherence to Florida Statute 1742 must not disappear once money is dispersed. Housing can support recovery, but housing alone is not recovery. The county's approved master plan reflects this distinction. My concern today is strictly about funding alignment, statutory compliance, and meaningful use of your advisory board recommendations, a bottom-up process with policies that now appear to be somewhat ignored and is clearly evident by top-down language insertion, initiatives such as this today, without advisory board input, and top-up fiscal decisions without compliance to the advisory board established process. The committee wrote the plan, you approved the plan, with the vision of a recovery village, inclusive of transitional housing and therapeutic housing staffed with licensed professionals, and providing the social determinants of health. Item 3E2 is retroactive sole source contracting with the House Leadership Council to equip faith-based organizations in tiny homes and prefab homes. Opioid use disorder is a medical condition. It requires licensed social services. This is not about a tent, it's about guardrails, it's about stewardship. I respectfully ask the board to ensure opioid settlement funds are used as intended with transparency, documentation, and accountability. The funds were paid with human loss. They represent loved ones we buried, families still suffering, and people in active addiction right now. We owe them this. We owe them integrity. We owe them everything, and we owe the families everything. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you. And thank you for your comments and understanding your position. But 3E2, just to clarify for the record, that is a $30,000 grant from HUD. That this is not opioid settlement dollars that are involved in that item.
Then what is the, can you correct then the item that we should be speaking to with regard to the opioid settlement
Well,
funds?
On item 3E1, that's also, that's additional money coming to us. It's not an expenditure, it's receiving those funds to assist in all the areas that you were speaking about and to supporting that.
So this has nothing to do with opioid settlement funds at all?
Not expenditures.
Expenditures, what
This
about?
this is revenue, so this is additional revenue coming in on 3E1. There's a regular item later on in the agenda that has to do with expenditures. 6D2. But
62.
for this right now is just so everybody in the public knows what we're talking about.
Can my comment
Ma'am.
card be moved?
The next individual is Sharon Burns Carter. And just to remind you, this is not regarding opiates dollars. That item is 6D2. So
Hold
if
on,
your
Commissioner, I
comments are
think
regarding
she's
that.
asking, do you want to speak later on the 6D2 item?
Yes, please.
We'll correct the card. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we have a motion by Vice Mayor Woodward. We have a second by Commissioner Flores. All in favor of consent, say aye. Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. We're going to take on the pulled consent items before we do special presentations. We have on page 13, we will start with Commissioner Sacks, which is 3C2A.
Thank you so much, Mayor. And again, I don't have any objection to this. I just want to make a statement for the record. And I know that Mr. Ricks is looking at this. This is, for the record, this is for a bicycle lanes on Prosperity Farms Road from Lorraine Court to Donald Ross Road. Great project, but I'd like to see this project of bicycle lanes extended to the FDOD project, which is continuing right now on Atlantic Avenue. So I'm just bringing it up for the record. Mr. Ricks has agreed that he will speak with the representatives from the Florida Department of Transportation, because this is so, so important, especially on a road that is well-traveled by bicyclists on Atlantic Avenue. I just want to put that on for the record. Is that pretty much what we had discussed before, Mr. Ricks?
Mr. Ricks, you're recognized, but if you could please also answer the question if we need to amend anything to make sure that happens.
Yeah, this is, I'm David Ricks, County Engineer, Director of Engineering and Public Works Division. With me is Liz Herman from the County Attorney's Office and Deputy County Administrator Pat Rudder. Yes, ma'am, Commissioner, yes, you're correct that there is an existing project on Atlantic Avenue, and we want to take a look at in terms of what you looked at in terms of enhancing the bike lane protection there.
Very good. Very good. That's exactly what I want to thank you so much, and I know that if FDOT is putting these bicycle lanes, and I'm talking about segregated bicycle lanes to protect not just bicyclists, but pedestrians and those on e-bikes on that lane, that they will certainly get serious about the ones on Atlantic Avenue. Thank you so much, Mr. Ricks, and thank you for your staff.
Commissioner Sacks, would you like to move
Yes.
this item?
I'd like to move this item. I'd like to move it with,
We have a motion by Commissioner Sacks, a second by Commissioner Weiss. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. We are moving on to page 17, item 3C9, A, B, and C. Commissioner Powell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would just like for the team to real quick, brief description of the $3 million, exactly what it will cover and what it does.
Thank you, Commissioner, Mayor, and members of the board. This is a $3 million grant for adaptive signal technology along Flagler Avenue. This is the second phase of adaptive signal technology along that corridor. The first phase is actually from I-95 to Flagler Avenue for about 10 signals, and this is the second phase of about another 8 signals. Total amount, including this grant, was $3 million. The first grant was 1.7, just under $6 million for adaptive signal technology. We've combined them both into one project. The actual RFPs were opened up at the beginning of January. The selection was actually last week. We'll be making a recommendation to the board here in the next couple of weeks and get that work started in March. But this will provide, advanced signal technology along that corridor, along I-95, along Okeechobee, and also Flagler Avenue.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion, Madam Mayor.
I have a motion by Commissioner Powell, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor?
Right.
Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. We will move on to page 55, item 3M4.
thank you so much, Mayor, and that's one of mine. And this is 3M4. And I don't have any objection to this. I just want to state for the record and to commend our Jennifer Cirillo. For the record, this is about using our school mutual use of recreation facilities at schools throughout the county. And I want the public to know this was one of the issues that was mentioned in Doge that we should be doing more of. We have been doing this already. And I want to state for the record Ms. Cirillo's great efforts in doing this. And I wanted to be assured that we will be doing this in most of our schools, if not all of them, to use their facilities when school is not in session for use of the public so that our children who may not be enrolled in that school but may not have a playground or a ball field, they'll be able to use our ball fields. So if you could recognize Ms. Cirillo on this. Thank you.
Cirillo, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Commissioner, yes, that's exactly right. This was an efficiency mentioned in the Doge report for Parks and Recreation agencies to do. To our predecessors' credit, we've been doing this since 1981. So this is shared use, mutual use, savings to share facilities with the school district of Palm Beach County and our public county Parks and Recreation Department. The Jessica Lunsford Act does protect playgrounds while school's in session and after school activities are in session, so the general public cannot be in there during that time. But when school's not in session and after school activities are not taking place, we use the school facilities and they use our public recreation facilities. There will be another agreement specific to Canyon District Park because playgrounds and tracks were specifically mentioned in that Doge report. Canyon District Park is adjacent to West Boynton Middle School that has a track, and that'll be our first publicly accessible track to walk after hours. That'll be coming back before the park opens April 8th. And in addition, our master plan that was approved by the board early last year includes that as a strategy to continue to plan in conjunction with the school district as we move forward.
This is an excellent idea, and I'm so glad. I don't know why they missed it. But it is something we've been doing for many years. And I'd like to see it expanded just in the schools in my district on the weekends or after hours. It would be wonderful to continue to use school facilities for our children, whether they're enrolled in that school or not, because we need more ball fields. and tennis courts. And thank you so much, Ms. Cirillo. Thank you, Mayor, for allowing me to say this. And at that, if there's no other questions.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
Good morning, Ms. Cirillo. Do we have specific schools that we have identified
Yeah.
to open up the park access?
Yeah, so our elementary schools don't have a lot of recreation facilities. They're just not built that way. They do have playgrounds for sure. But our middle schools and our high schools have more athletic facilities. So we do have some schools, particularly in areas where we have gaps in service, that we would like to work with the school district to open up the tracks in particular for walking for the public. We already use, and you'll see in the agenda item, there's an attachment that identifies recreation groups across the county, including the Glades, North County, South County, that already work with us to use the school facilities. So again, we've been doing this for a very long time, but we do have some identified areas, Canyon District Park being one of them. That track being open to the public is huge. We've had track teams practicing in our parking lots. We just don't have those facilities, so that's a great mutual use where maybe we have some major league ball fields and things that the school district wouldn't have. So, working together on that. So we do in our master plan, you'll see that there's identified areas of growth in the county that we'd like to specifically work with those schools, like we already do at Park Vista. We share tennis and basketball courts there and just basically switch the gates to allow for security at night. Some of the high school facilities in particular are targets of ours to want to expand that service, but West Point Middle School is a great first step for us to do that.
And help me remind me, in the master plan, did we identify that over the next 10 years there could potentially be a shortage in parks and availability for our residents?
Correct, both in acreage and in active facilities. So to Commissioner Sachs' points, ball fields, gymnasiums, tracks, those types of indoor facilities are going to be needed, as well as our outdoor acreage level of service.
And this is one of the tools that you're utilizing to be able to expand our offerings?
Just one of the tools, yes.
And I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't say this. I would look for more partnership in my district.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Got it. Message received. Thank you.
Commissioner Sachs, would you like to move the item?
And I guess I know who my second's going to be. But I'd like to move this into the consent agenda. Thank you.
We have a motion by Commissioner Sachs, a second by Commissioner Flores. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
We are going to move on to item 3B3.
Thank you, Mayor. Reason I pulled this item, this is a list of contracts, and I pulled this because I was contacted by a representative of one of the bidders on a contract. Unfortunately, cone of silence was still in place, and so therefore I cannot participate.
Thank you, Commissioner Weiss. We have two cards on this item we're going to take first.
We have David Goodlett and Emilio Perez. We have two podiums. Please come forward, state your name for the record.
Good morning, Madam Mayor, from the Glades, or representing the Glades, and distinguished members of the board. My name is David Goodlett, and I represent one of the two people involved in this bid. The company is ProLime, and we ask that you consider this bid because we have no idea how we didn't finish first. We are the low bid, saving over the life of this loan $864,000. We have presently the 5-year contract for hauling the material at these exact sites. They tell us they love us there. I'm not sure. I've told people I love them before too. At the site, we own the scales that the material is weighed on. We own the two scale houses, the computer system, and the slab that they're located on. If we don't end up the low bidder and most responsible here, we'll have to figure out how that works. And we also have a yard for disposal, which most folks don't have. So I would be very interested at some point to learn why we weren't the lowest and most responsible, and we would ask the board to consider that at this level.
Good morning, Commissioner. Good morning, Mayor. My name is Emilio Perez. I'm with Big Dogs Press. Back on September 25, we bidded on the lime sludge hauling loading 25-060 AS. We were the lowest bidder by $864,000. However, we got disqualified because they told us we did not have the experience for the lime sludge. Even though back in November, we sent an email telling the county or whoever it was that we did haul lime sludge for the city of Belgrade for about 10 years. Right now, we got contracts, current contracts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different cities. We also got a current contract with DEP in the state of Florida. We haul solid waste for the city of Tampa. We hold tire for DEP. So for them to disqualify us, saying that we do not have the experience to do lime sludge, things are, I don't know, it made no sense to me. And we are $864,000. Besides that, we have entered into agreement with Proline, which they've been doing it for the past 5 or 6 years. So that's my concern. So I would like to know exactly what happened, how come we're being disqualified, since we were the lowest bidder, and we are qualified to do the work, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners.
Somebody from staff, would you like to address this question?
Did you want to? Oh, okay.
Good morning, your microphone. I don't think it's on.
Does it work now? Hello.
There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, all the commissioners. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Jessica Comas. I'm the current purchasing director. I have with me here Deputy County Administrator Tracy Ellison. Everybody knows Deputy County Administrator Todd. I also have with me Purchasing Deputy Director Erwin Jacobowitz, County Attorney Office Ann Helfont, Water Utilities, who's part of this contract, Assistant Director Stephanie Marsh Corinthian, and then the Director Ali Bayat. Just wanted to make sure I introduced everybody. So again, thank you for this opportunity. Again, I believe you all received the timeline. We received a request from Water Utilities to place this invitation for bid on August 19th. At the time, we had the various vendors that were interested in the bid go to a pre-conference on site to be able to understand what the scope of work is. Part of the scope of work is to remove the lime and sludge from water. The one thing I want to mention is that at the time when the vendors submitted the bids, we asked for 3 references within the past 3 years. This is important because we need to make sure that they understand the scope of work and that we have the references. At the time, when we received the references, particularly the Big Dog Express, they did not really have what we call the understanding or possibly the references that were related to lime and sludge specifically. We asked for, as a courtesy, additional information before the November 12th deadline to ask for additional information. The references that they referred to with lime and sludge was specifically well past 5-10 years. We provided this information to Water Utilities, and when we receive references that are not similar to the goods and services, purchasing's policy is we just make note to say that they're considered non-responsive. From there, we give it to the user department, which in this case is Water Utilities, where they review the information, check the references, and determine who is going to be the award for the bid.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
I guess my question to staff and administration is what is the process for a dispute? Do we have a formal process for which they can appeal and contest the
Yes, yes, and that is part of the solicitation where it explains their ability to protest. Once the award is posted, they have 5 business days to be able to submit a protest letter along with a bond. From there, we would be able to continue with the protest. When we received information from Big Dog Express, that was in January, which is 30 days after.
So meaning they did not meet that 5-day,
Correct, they did not file, nor did we receive the bond.
okay, thank you.
I have a couple questions. Is removing lime and sludge from water something that regularly occurs? Good morning, Ali. You're recognized.
Sure. Ali Bayat, Palm Michigan Water Utilities Department Director. It does on a bi-monthly or every quarter. So
Every quarter it has to be done.
it has to be done.
And did we have a previous vendor on this? And we
Yes.
put out for another one?
The existing contractor doing the job is the Proline, the gentleman that just spoke on that podium.
Is
And
the
that-
current vendor that we at the county have,
Correct. And the contract expired as of now.
and we disqualified him from being able to continue doing work
No,
with the
they
county?
got disqualified one of the meetings on site that was mandatory meeting, and they did not show up for that.
Mr. Goodlett, would you come forward, please? Hi
Yes,
again.
ma'am.
Why would you not show up to a mandatory meeting?
So the manager of the program here was having, I hate to talk about people's health, but he had a heart issue, and he's not here today because it continues. That's why when we were disqualified, we agree with that disqualification. Whatever happened, we weren't there, and it does put us without standing. Then we went and teamed up with Big Dog, and we're the people there doing the work. How unusual does this sound that we're the folks there doing the work for the last 5 years, but we don't qualify this year? We are teamed with Big Dog.
Mr. Goodlett?
Yes.
I got it. Thank you.
That's it?
Ali, yeah, well, Ali, so was that the main disqualifying? And so when they partnered with Big Dog Express, is it?
When they submitted their bid, and let me just address the first part of it, the love relationship that was mentioned. That's true, they've been performing fine.
They've
So-
been doing this work for years.
Yes.
With us.
Yeah, and no problem, but I think what they got disqualified, and that was unfortunate, just part of the business process was to show up, and they did not. And that time, they were the prime on their own.
Well, I'm going to say somebody having heart issues isn't normally planned, but
Correct.
please.
So I can't speak to that part, I think I refer to attorneys.
So I guess where we are now is then, have we selected another vendor already because of their disqualification? Or where does this currently stand? And maybe this is a better question for the attorney. What are our options?
So, good morning. So currently there is a contract recommended for award today on the agenda for the board to approve. If the board believes it has a reason that it will, based on the discussion, and it chooses not to, it has that option. But it can't be arbitrary and capricious, meaning you must have a legitimate reason that you can state, a legitimate reason you can state. My understanding of what happened, just to give some clarification, is that the owner of Big Dog was not able to protest because he was not aware. One, the process is not in place where they're notified at the time that they've been deemed non-responsive. And second, there was no specific time noted as to when the bid would be posted. Hence, they weren't able to, they didn't see at the time it was posted. Apparently it's a system where you have to constantly check to see when it's posted, and they missed the days. So that deemed them non-responsive.
Commissioner Flores, or excuse me, Vice Mayor Woodward was first. You're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just for my own clarification, I'm sorry, sir, what was the name of your company?
David Goodlett.
And your company?
I'm with ProLime, who is a
ProLime.
subcontractor to Big Dog,
So-
with the same bid.
And this gentleman was Big Dog.
He's Big Dog.
All right, so just so that I understand, you were deemed non-responsive because your person missed a meeting.
Correct.
And then you became a sub for Big Dog in their bid. And they were deemed non-responsive due to lack of experience?
Correct, with the references. It's not similar to the goods and services. That is in part of the scope for the lime and sludge removal.
But as their subcontractor, does their experience not count towards the bid?
We do with Big Dog Express. We don't look at the,
Hi, Erwin Jacobowitz. I just want to impart upon you the fact that we contract with a prime, which would be Big Dog, and in this scenario, it's the qualifications of the prime. We don't drill down to the subs because we enter into a contract with the prime, not with the subs.
Are you finished?
Go ahead.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
Okay, I want to talk specifically about the process, Attorney. In this case, if they missed that one meeting, but there was circumstances that prevented them, did we give them an opportunity to make up that meeting? Was that ever communicated?
I don't know the specifics of that. Maybe the department can address that.
no, if they miss a mandated meeting, there's no makeup for it.
So if that morning you wake up in the hospital and you can't make it, you lost your opportunity because you can't meet that meeting?
They could send another representative from the company to be at that meeting as well. It doesn't require a specific individual. It just it has to be a representative from the entity to be there. That's all, to be present, so when Water Utilities goes over the details as to what they need, someone is there representing the entity so they could understand what would be required under the project. That's all that's for. It's
Okay.
informational.
And then on the back end, when they are deemed unresponsive, there's no notification that goes out to them letting them know you were deemed unresponsive?
Yes, that's my understanding. At least that was an issue in this case.
So is this standard practice?
So yes, the current policy is whether they're responsive or non-responsive, we don't send any notification.
So they have to guess as to,
So what happens is, at the time, we collect the information for the vendors that want to bid, we submit it to the user departments, and once they make their determination of who's awarded the contract, that's when it is posted.
and it gets posted, it doesn't get, there's notification that goes out.
Right, the current policy right now is that it just gets posted.
Well, I have an issue with this policy where we don't notify people. It's a simple email. You put 5 email addresses and it goes out. I mean, to
And-
me, that doesn't seem that hard. We got to let these people
Correct.
take a wild guess to check every day.
Correct. So being new in this role, there's one of those policies that we're looking into, and we're trying to find a product that will be able to send out the notifications.
Okay.
So that way we do have consistency and the vendors are notified.
So from my standpoint, you guys did everything according to policy. So
Correct.
there's no issue there.
Correct.
It seems like the policy is a little outdated and we need to fix the policy.
Correct.
But then people that are caught in that in between have to live by the decision, and I don't know how long this contract is for, but I don't know, to me, this is a little troubling.
Mr. Goodlett?
Yes, ma'am. It's very clear that we made some mistakes. We have some concern about communication. Is there any chance this might be sent back for rebid?
Hold on.
Okay.
Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized.
Thank you. I did have a question. I believe you referenced you were the lower bidder by 800,000. It was,
864,000, I was the lowest bidder. Yes, ma'am.
by that much? Or-
$864,000, that's correct.
If I'm correct, I'm looking at Exhibit R. Am I right? And this contract amount is for just under 1.3 million. Is that?
It's a 5-year contract. It's 5 one-year term contracts. So if you do the math on the 5 years, it's $864,000 difference.
That's a significant
It
amount
is a
of money
significant amount.
for
And you
us to
know-
be, excuse me, sir, but we're talking about, as Commissioner Flores brought up, I know that you followed the policy, but I think we're now questioning, is this a good policy? And it's going to cost us $800,000. So I would be curious, what are our options today?
As I mentioned before, if the board believes it's the reasonable thing to do and you have a basis, legitimate basis to do it, you can rebid. You do have that option. It's a last resort, but you do have the option.
On the issue for rebidding this, and I'm going to recognize Commissioner Saxon just a second, I'd like to know where the board stands and reasonings. If you would potentially like to rebid this, over $800,000 is a significant amount, so please, Commissioner Sachs.
Thank you, Mayor. We hear from one side. Who's the winning bidder?
I am.
You are?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
Wait, not.
No,
I'm
he's
sorry,
not the winning
the lowest
bidder.
I'm the lowest bidder, I'm
actually,
sorry.
okay.
I'm
Let me
sorry.
ask staff. Who won the bid?
Who won the bid?
No, sir, I'm not asking you.
Oh.
Staff?
It's Devlin Site Paving and Utilities, Inc.
Okay, are they here? Okay. Before we enter into an agreement on the Board of County Commissioners that we're going to rebid it, I'd like to hear from the other side, just giving them due process. I've heard from one side, but I'd like to hear from the other side. So maybe we could possibly give everybody a chance to give us more information. I mean, if you go before a court of law and one side goes in and the judge makes a decision, a judgment, without listening to the other side, I think that's presumptuous and we're looking for trouble. So what I'd like to do, and I'm looking at our good lawyer here, Mr. Gotti, and the mayor, maybe we need to give everybody an opportunity to respond to this. Obviously, this bid is lower, that would be better. However, there's some issues here that I haven't heard, and it's really from the other side. So maybe, Mayor, in your discretion, we could postpone it or have an opportunity, it's an opportunity for the other side to be heard before we make a decision.
Attorney Adi, is that an option?
Yeah, I don't think there's any harm postponing it for the next meeting to have the person here. It's worth noting that it was posted, so they had an opportunity to be here, but I don't think it's unreasonable to wait to have them here.
And I believe the next regular BCC meeting is in 2 weeks. When is it? March?
March 10th, right?
I'm sorry. Mayor, is there any prejudice, Mr. Adi, to postponing this so we could give the other bidder, the other applicant here, a notice and an opportunity to be heard?
As far as prejudice, I'm not sure about operationally, if it puts them in a bad position, water utilities, but in terms of the process, I don't think there's any.
Mr. Bayat?
It's on, I believe. We should be fine.
Should be fine?
Continue with the
Okay.
existing contract. We're just going to make it emergency.
We're already cleaning
Yes.
that water out, aren't we?
We'll be fine.
Okay, I just suggest, and I would make a motion to this effect, that we give the other side an opportunity, a notice, an opportunity to be heard before we make a decision to reopen the entire bidding process, just so that we can hear both sides.
Would you like to include, we could do this at a PZMB date, which is the 26th of this month?
Whatever your pleasure is,
Do you
Mayor.
motion to postpone till the 26th?
Whatever your pleasure is fine.
She already, Commissioner Sachs made the motion. We need a second. Did you want to postpone it? Chris?
Absolutely, yes. And I think there's a second right over there
And
behind
a
you.
second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 5-0.
To all, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners.
I'd like to make.
Commissioner Flores,
We
you're
didn't vote on
recognized.
the item.
There are multiple items under 3B3. I think we only postponed that one singular item, so I think we still need to approve 3B3. Is that correct?
Correct.
Exclusive of Exhibit R.
Okay, so then I'll make a motion to approve item 3B3, the remainder of the items.
I have a motion by Commissioner Flores,
Second.
a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Please see that the motion carries 6-0. We are going to, that is the completion of our consent agenda. We will move on to special presentations. And we are going to actually begin with the school counselor proclamation. While Commissioner Flores is getting that proclamation ready, do we have Loretta in chambers over there? If you could please bring Loretta over. So while we do proclamations, anyone that would like to say hi to Loretta, she is here. We are proud to spotlight her. She's 8 years old and has been with Palm Beach County Animal Care and Control for about a month after being tied up and abandoned at home and left behind. Despite what she has been through, Loretta is incredibly gentle, resilient, full of love, and she deserves a forever home, a forever home, where she'll never be forgotten again, and we hope today helps her find just that. Commissioner Flores, please proceed.
Good morning, everyone. So we are proclaiming School Counseling Week. If I can ask all school counselors to come forward to receive the proclamation. I'm going to name a few individuals. I got Dr. Charlene Beckford, Cherry Girdman Daniels, Kristen Rulison, Melanie Vasquez, Julissa Ureya, and I think there's different counselors from Berkshire Elementary, C.O. Taylor, Kirk Lane Elementary, Freedom Shores Elementary, Green Acres
Commissioner
Elementary.
Flores, may I ask for you, everyone is on that side of the room.
You want me to move?
Do you want to move to that podium, or do you want them all to go over there?
I'm going to keep shouting out schools. Indian Pines Elementary School, Liberty Park, Melaleuca, Palmetto, Dr. Joaquin Garcia High School, Forest Hill, John I, LC Swaim, Okeechobee Middle, Palm Springs Middle, and Tradewinds Middle. So declaring February 2nd through the 6th as 2026 as School Counseling Week. Whereas Palm Beach County school counselors play a vital role in supporting students' academic achievement, social and emotional development, and career readiness throughout Palm Beach County. And whereas throughout individualized guidance and support, school counselors help students discover their strength and interests, navigate challenges, and access the resources needed to reach their full potential. Whereas school counselors serve as key advocates for student mental health and well-being by addressing social and emotional needs and fostering safe, supportive, and inclusive learning environments. And whereas comprehensive school counseling programs are an essential component of a strong educational system, connecting students with school and community-based resources that enhance learning and support success both inside and outside the classroom. And whereas during National School Counseling Week, Palm Beach County joins students, families, educators, and school district staff in recognizing and celebrating the invaluable contributions school counselors make to helping students thrive and succeed. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled on this regular session the third day of February 2026, that February 2nd through the 6th, 2026 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed School Counseling Week. Would anybody like to say a few words? We had a doctor in the house. Come on.
Hi, I'm Dr. Charlene Beckford. I have the wonderful opportunity to work for the school districts of Palm Beach. I support all of the high school counselors. So just want to say thank you to all of the counselors for the hidden work that they do. They truly do undergird and support the school as a whole. As was mentioned, they support not only the academic achievement of students, but the social emotional learning, as well as the mental health as well. So thank you also to our community partners that really support the work that we do in our schools. And thank you again to the school counselors that are here.
Forward.
While they take their pictures, you all, if I could have individuals who are here prepared for a proclamation recognizing Black History Month, inclusive of Dr. Alicia Wynn, Dr. James Green, Ms. Annie Ruth Nelson, Ms. Cora Perry, members of the Roosevelt Industrial High School, members of Spady Museum, members of the African diaspora communities, and any others. As we celebrate Black History Month, we celebrate recognizing that it has been 100 years since Dr. Carter G. Woodson founded Black History Week. Today we celebrate a culture of excellence, a legacy of achievement, and I mean people like Dr. George Washington Carver, Garrett Morgan, Lewis Latimer, Eli Whitney, Sarah Breedlove, and countless others. It's a history of not only struggle, but a history of triumph. This is the proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, declaring February 2026 as Black History Month. Whereas in 1926, historian Dr. Carter G. Woodson noticed a verifiable lack of recognition for achievement of African Americans and launched a week-long celebration to help increase appreciation of their contributions. The second week of February was chosen as it coincided with the birthdays of two prominent figures in African Americans' fight for freedom: President Abraham Lincoln and author/orator Frederick Douglass. With the fervor of the civil rights movement of the 1960s, colleges and universities began to declare February as Black History Month. In 1976, President Gerald Ford recognized February as Black History Month, and in 1986, the United States Congress passed a joint resolution designating February as National Black History Month, highlighting the contributions of African Americans and the significance that they made to our country and to the world. Whereas in 1900, Lift Every Voice and Sing was a hymn written as a poem by NAACP leader James Weldon Johnson and later composed with music by his brother, John Roseman Johnson. It became known as the Black National Anthem. Adopted and promoted by the NAACP in 1919, it became a rally cry during the Civil Rights Movement, symbolizing the struggles, perseverance, and hope for freedom and equality for Black Americans. And in 2006, the U.S. Congress passed a concurrent resolution that expanded the observance of Black History Month to include recognition of achievements and contribution of Afro-descendants in all of the Americas, and in the nearly 50 years since President Ford's declaration, Black History Month has grown to become nationally observed with its integration into the public school curriculum and many programs organized on college and university campuses. Whereas the success of Black History Month has significantly contributed to the nation's social progress towards racial inclusivity, equity, and representation, we have seen the emergence of Black elected officials locally in Palm Beach County as Maud Ford Lee became the first Black county commissioner in 1990, and Virginia C. Baker became the first Black county administrator in 2015. At a national level, the United States elected its first Black president in Barack H. Obama in 2008. And the Palm Beach County Community Services Department will host a Black History Cultural Tour highlighting iconic and historic places in Palm Beach County to promote community involvement and cultivate cultural awareness. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this third day of February, that February 2026 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Black History Month. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioner Powell, Mayor Sachs, fellow commissioners. My name is Annie Ruth Nelson. I represent the African American Research Library and Culture Center. On behalf of the African American Research Library and Culture Center, whose mission began in 2006, makes this year 20 years ago to develop a museum and library in Palm Beach County, it is finally a reality. We are grateful to Palm Beach County Commissioners for your support that will provide additional educational enhancement to students, teachers, and the public that represent the history and contributions of communities of African descent in the development of Palm Beach County. We thank you for this recognition.
Well, while they're taking their photo, I'm going to ask Taruna, Tammy, Natalie, and Dr. Green, when he's done with the picture, to come on over here, because we're going to recognize Senior Independence Month. And for those of you that don't know, Palm Beach County actually has 3 senior centers. We have one in North County in Palm Beach Gardens, one in Mid County in Lake Worth, and one in West County in Belle Glade. And these are an important tool for our seniors to connect with our community. So today we're declaring February 2026 as Senior Independence Month. Whereas February is National Senior Independence Month, a time for us to recognize and honor Palm Beach County's older adults and encourage community engagement by promoting social interaction, higher levels of health and life satisfaction. And whereas our older residents have contributed immeasurably to the growth, vitality, and character of our communities through their wisdom, experience, and accomplishments, whereas independence is vital to maintaining dignity and quality of life, enabling all adults to thrive as active participants in their families, neighborhoods, and broader society. And whereas Palm Beach County Community Services Department and the Division of Senior and Veteran Services promote independence through collaboration across all generations and assist with providing access to health care, supportive services, affordable housing, and opportunities for lifelong learning and engagement. And whereas by extending our support beyond February, we send a powerful message that the independence of our seniors is a year-round priority, addressing the evolving needs of all residents. Whereas we call upon all residents to join us in recognizing the contributions of our older residents and promoting programs and activities that foster connection, inclusion, and support for our older adults. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, and assembled in regular session here today, that February is Senior Independence Month. And I want to give a shout out to my mom and dad. You may have heard me say this, but Mom and Dad just celebrated 70 years of wedded bliss. So thank you to them. And I always say it's because my dad is deaf, but you know, thank you.
Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, and County Administrator. I am Tina Austin. I am the manager at the Mid-County Senior Center that is located in Lake Worth. On behalf of the Division of Senior and Veteran Services, thank you for your proclamation for Senior Independence Month and for your continued support of the older adults in Palm Beach County. This proclamation reflects our shared commitment to helping seniors age with dignity, independence, and connection. Our mission is to enhance quality of life by promoting independence, preventing crisis, and providing essential services that allow seniors to remain safely in their homes and communities. Thank you for all your leadership and for recognizing for February as Senior Independence Month. Thank you.
While they take their pictures, can I have the members of the Francis J. Bright Women's Club Charitable Foundation, Inc. assemble at this podium? I'll take Ms. Eula Kinsey Brodnix, Gary Bain, Adrienne Alexander, Lawana S. Jackson, Maureen Owens, Cheryl Howard, Tawana King, Anna Thomas, Marla Ivy Holness, Nikema Lewin, Karen Baldwin, Allison Seeley, Charlotte Durant, Andrea Bowers, Ramona Allen, and Whitney Baldwin Powell. Good morning. This is a proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners recognizing the Francis J. Bright Women's Club Charitable Foundation, Inc. for dedicated service to the Palm Beach County community. Whereas the Francis J. Bright Women's Club Charitable Foundation, Incorporated is a civic and social organization that has served Palm Beach County, Florida since its founding in the fall of 1959. And the organization was founded by Natalia Bush, along with Lula Baldwin, Eunice Dolphus, Alberta Gaines, Addie Hudson, Lottie Long, Virgie Nelson, Francine Patrick, Hattie Ruth Pompey, Henrietta Smith, and Thelma Stevens, in honor of Frances Jane Bright, 1871 to 1959. The first African-American school teacher in Delray Beach, Florida. And whereas Frances Jane Bright's legacy of education, faith, and community leadership extended beyond the classroom, and it is commemorated by a historic site on Northwest 5th Avenue in Delray Beach, recognized by the Historic Preservation Board of Palm Beach County, and the Francis J. Bright Women's Club Charitable Foundation, Incorporated, has demonstrated a long-standing commitment to service through initiatives including Christmas cheer for senior citizens, scholarships for qualified Palm Beach County High School seniors, financial assistance to families in need, support for victims of domestic abuse, and donations to organizations such as the Spady House Museum, the Salvation Army, and local youth sports teams. And the club established its debutante program in 1968 to promote finer womanhood among senior high school girls through educational, cultural, and spiritual enrichment, culminating in an annual debutante cotillion. And whereas the Francis J. Bright Women's Club Charitable Foundation Incorporated proudly upholds its motto, dedicated to service, while honoring the past and investing in the future of Palm Beach County. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session this third day of February 2026, that the Board of County Commissioners recognizes the Francis J. Bright Women's Club Charitable Foundation Incorporated for its dedicated service to the Palm Beach County community.
Hello, my name is Adrienne Alexander, and I am the current president of Francis J. Bright Women's Club Charitable Foundation. I would like to thank Commissioner Bobby Powell, Jr. and Mayor Baxter. Thank you all so much for this proclamation and for this recognition. As Commissioner Powell stated before, we were founded in 1959 in honor of our founder, Mrs. Frances Jane Bright. And we are ecstatic and excited for this proclamation on today, and we'll continue to do the work here in the Palm Beach County community as we continue to be dedicated to service. Thank you again.
All right, as they take their picture, I will be proclaiming Government Communicators Day. If I could get Lisa De La Ronda and her team, the public affairs team, to come forward. As we are declaring February 20th, 2026 as Government Communicators Day. Whereas the role of government communications professional is to inform, educate, and engage their communities. And where robust communication in government creates trust and encourages residents to take action and become involved. And whereas government communications build and strengthen relationships, and initiate calls to action, increase awareness and understanding through storytelling, engage the public on civic issues, and use all available channels to include people in critical decisions. And whereas strong communicators in government are essential as a foundational element of a democratic society, ensuring transparency and fostering an environment where citizens have the freedom to make their voices heard. Whereas Palm Beach County expresses deep gratitude and recognition for government communicators' professionalism, dedication, hard work, commitment, and enthusiasm. And whereas in Palm Beach County, Florida, we thank the members of all county-wide departments, outreach staff who have dedicated their careers to ensuring the county maintains effective, impactful, and successful communication strategies that resonate with and are relevant to the communities they serve. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled at this regular session on the third day of February 2026, that February 20th, 2026 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Government Communicators Day.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Flores. Thank you, Mayor Baxter, Vice Mayor Woodward, Commissioners, Administrator Abruzzo, who certainly understands the importance of a public information officer, and thank you for your enduring our community here. This day recognizes the collective efforts of many of the individuals that you see behind me and those that aren't, that are still in the offices actually working on making sure that our county stays engaged. They work tirelessly behind the scenes. Our communicators are the very fabric of the engagement that we have with our community. Every day, 7 days a week, sometimes 24/7, as you know. They use the skills of the storytelling through digital, print, and visual media. And may I say that our stories are extremely compelling. We like to tell the county stories. This is an elite group of award-winning communicators, nationally, statewide, and locally. Actually, last year, our Parks Department won the national award through the National Association of County Information Officers, through NACO. We're very proud of the affiliations that we have. We inspire each other. We collectively work together. We collaborate. And we do whatever is possible through our field. I want to thank you for the acknowledgement of this day. I want to say that the individuals behind me and those that are supporting them in their offices are very proud to do the work we do every day on behalf of Palm Beach County to tell our county stories. Thank you.
Come on down.
And while they take their pictures, this is a proclamation for the first African American Research Library and Cultural Center. If I could have Ms. Annie Ruth Nelson, Ms. Cora Perry, Ms. Danita Dehaney, President of the Community Foundation, Mr. Bill Watson from the Community Foundation, members of the Roosevelt Industrial High School, members of Spady Museum, and members of the African diaspora communities to join me again at the podium as we present a proclamation recognizing the first African American Research Library and Cultural Center of Palm Beach County. And remembering, as Dr. John Henrik Clark said, that history is a clock that people use to tell their historical and cultural time of day. It tells their people who they are and what they are, who they have been and what they have been, but most importantly, history tells a people who they still must be and where they still must go. This proclamation, in recognition of Black History Month, is a call to action was heard to establish the first African American Research Library and Cultural Center of Palm Beach County, Inc., ARLIC, and thereby formed in 2006 and became a 501c3 nonprofit in 2010. And on January 18th, 2024, a groundbreaking ceremony at Coleman Park's historic Roosevelt High School, located on Tamarind Avenue, signaled the start of a long-awaited journey to restore a historic campus and create a home for the African American Museum and Research Library. And
I can load my husband out.
whereas the 20,000 square foot two-story museum will be built on the grounds of the historic Roosevelt High School in West Palm Beach, which was once the city's segregated Black high school and now is the Roosevelt Full Service Center, a cornerstone of Black education in the county. And its mission is to facilitate the development of a museum, research library, and cultural center in order to preserve the unique history and shared contributions of African Americans and Black Americans in the development of Palm Beach County, from its early existence to the present and future. And whereas the African American Research Library and Cultural Center of Palm Beach County will provide learning opportunities by disseminating knowledge through exhibitions, programs, seminars, lectures, and events to educate and enlighten the public while providing support and educational enhancement to and illustrative of African Americans in Palm Beach County, in the state of Florida, and in the nation. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in this regular session on the 3rd day of February 2026, that the Board of County Commissioners recognizes the first African American Research Library and Cultural Center of Palm Beach County. Thank you.
To the Honorable County Commissioner Bobby Power, staff, volunteers, and Madam Mayor, on behalf of the Industrial Roosevelt High School National Alumni Association and friends, we express our deepest appreciation for this recognition and your continued support, along with the Community Foundation with Dr. Devita Dehaney. We are striving. We are honored to receive this acknowledgement again. This recognition highlights our commitment as we work to preserve our historic Roosevelt High School and to preserve our history, commemorating the great teachers and students that grew and worked to become successful adults. To us, Roosevelt alumni, it is expressly meaningful. We are grateful that you find our efforts valuable. To you, Commissioner Power, thank you for believing in our high school and in the valuable school that it was. We value you and your commitment to all the students, teachers, administration, parents who poured their strength for us, their children, to have an excellent education. Thank you. Thank you once again. We now look forward to continuing our work with preserving Roosevelt High School and our National Museum that will be housed there for many to see, and supporting the community for which it stands. Thanks again for your time, support, efforts, dedication, and last but not least, your continued financial contribution. From the Industrial Roosevelt alumni friends, thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's right. You're correct.
I'll see you Thursday. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I rode my bike.
You already did?
45 minutes this morning.
We are going to move on to our regular agenda now. Thank you, everyone, for participating. But briefly, before we move on, I'm going to take a moment of personal privilege and thank the Children's Services Council for an award they have presented to myself. I served on the board for the past 3 years, and I have to say this means a lot because that board does a lot for children and families, and the things that they accomplish are just amazing. So thank you so much for this award, and thank you for bringing it today. Page 75, 6A1, it's administration. Administrator Abruzzo, is this the item, page 75, first agenda on regular that you wanted to speak on?
Madam Mayor, are we taking the first item on 75 or the add-on?
The add-on,
For the administrative code?
This is 6A1.
Yep.
yeah,
Page
6,
75.
75.
we will do 6A1 first then, and then you'll speak on 6A2.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Sounds good. 6A1, Todd, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Item 6A1 is a resolution of the BCC that amends our administrative code. In this, we have put a number of cleanup administrative changes in there, as well as specifically some issues related to our departments and namings of our departments. I'm happy to go over to that briefly with you if you'd like, or if there's any questions. We've laid out in the agenda item specifically some of the changes to various commission departments and offices and where they're being located today. We've also included previous changes that the board has made regarding procurement, as well as the recent adoption of our SBD ordinance. And then the specific administrative changes, some slight changes on the use of petty cash, no substantive changes on auto allowance, just clarify wording on who it applies to, grant thresholds for the administrator from $100,000 to $300,000 to allow him to execute those when no local match is required, and then some minor changes on just an updated code section for internal audits. Fiduciary funds, we just changed from trust to fiduciary, and then technical security, sound walls, and then some clarification on the merit rules. And those are some of the overviews of the items that are proposed before you in this recommended adoption of the resolution.
We have a speaking card on item 6A1.
Yes, we have Oswald Newbold. Please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Thank you, Honorable Commission, for being here. Oswald Newbold, Riviera Beach, 1565 West 20th Street, Riviera Beach, Florida. I'm here today. I'm also a voting member on the executive committee for the CJC. We're here, the last commission meeting, there was a budget transfer up on the agenda, and it found out it was more than a budget transfer. It was also removing a department and turning it into a division. Now what I'm seeing here is midway through the process, now we're changing the code. I believe there's some things in the code that's being proposed now that needs to be addressed, but there's too many things coagulated together. And if we approve this right now, essentially the department, the CJC will be resolved as a department turned into a division, and it still was never really brought to the commission to be approved first. That's how I'm interpreting it right now. Also, yeah, and that's the main thing right there. Also, and it's tied into, I see it's on the agenda for 6F1, which is the budget, and that comes later on. But even with this here, this just seemed like it's just skirting what should be coming before the commission for a discussion, and it's not being discussed. It's like we're changing the rules mid-game to change the code. And I mean, if we're gonna do things, I say that we do it two ways, right and in order. But right now, it just seems like we're skirting the process right now.
Commissioner Powell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Newbold, you indicated that there's a major issue that's not being discussed. Is there anything in particular that you think we're missing, or that you can point out that is not being discussed or that we are neglecting to recognize?
Well, yes. One, the CJC has the duty to evaluate. It's an autonomous, independent advisory board. If you move the CJC into public safety, what happens then is no longer autonomous because you put in mid-level management. So the CJC as it is now reports directly to the BCC for accountability. When you change that, well, not directly. The advisory board not report, it's an advisory that gives suggestions, thank you, gives suggestions to the BCC, my apologies. But what happens then, if you put it in a department, it becomes layered, and then the fidelity of the findings are necessarily, you can't ensure that that process will be protected right there.
Attorney Audi, would you address this item? Is there, if this was moved, does it really impact how we get the information?
I think the point is well taken that it was independently autonomous, and now it's subservient to a department director. So as to how that plays out, I think that's a policy call. It's not legal. They haven't lost any legal authority, so to speak. It's just a policy decision for the board and administration to decide.
Administrator Abruzzo, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The CJC reports to me, the administrator, so it's not autonomous from the standpoint of it doesn't have an oversight. It doesn't, right as it sits as a department, it reports to me, the administrator.
Directly to you, and then this would have it report directly to Mr. Nadler?
It would report to Stephanie in Public Safety, then to Tom Nadler, then to me.
But we would still be getting their advice as a board.
Every bit of it.
Commissioner Powell, were you
Madam-
finished? Oh. Were you finished? I'm sorry.
Because of the changes with the grants, public safety is supporting financially a lot that is going on at the CJC. They've stepped into that role per the board, continuing the support for the CJC.
Thank you. Commissioner Powell, were you finished?
I have a follow-up for Mr. Newbold. Mr. Newbold, are you concerned? It sounds like your concern is that if this is now placed as a division under a department, that when you say autonomy, that the opinion could be swayed by whoever is the head of the department to not be the opinion of the board. Is that your concern, or am I?
That's the potential, and that's really what I'm getting at. Like, at the recent CJC meeting, they said everything would remain the same, nothing would change. But when you restructure, that's a change, and you don't restructure to leave things the same. So when we say that it will be exactly the same, it won't be the same. We won't know till we get in there, but it will not be the same. So things will change.
Commissioner Weiss, you're, okay, Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess, and this really is really now to staff, to understand these changes. I mean, we have advisory boards like zoning, our zoning commission, our planning commission, and they, you know, as items come in front of us, they opine, and in fact, specifically, they, you know, as zoning and planning items, they're required to weigh in on that. Do you intend to continue to have that as our, or will we have that, I shouldn't say you, will we as a board continue to have that as our policy, that the CJC will be weighing in on items as it relates to their purview?
Todd, you're recognized.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, yes, and nothing would change about the board that would exist at the CJC. We actually made some revisions, this board did, in terms of additional representation on that board. That board would remain in place. The flow of business at CJC would continue to operate as it does, and then the advisement capacity that CJC has would not be altered, and that would still work its way to the board when they recommended items to come before the board for presentation.
You know, in listening to the concern, you know, instead of reporting directly to the county administrator, that it reports to the public safety department, are there steps or anything that you can recommend, you know, to ensure, because you know, I'm sympathetic or empathetic to, you know, what is being said. How do we ensure that, in fact, that we have the same transparency in communication, although it was filtered through administration in the past, that we have that and we get those updates directly from this board? I mean, they've been instrumental in having a number of programs that they recommended that this board has adopted over the years, and how do we make sure that in addressing their concerns.
Madam
Todd, you're
Mayor,
recognized.
Commissioner, I think that, first off, there's always been a delegation of authority from the administrator to the oversight of the CJC within the administrator's authority. So that hasn't really ever changed, and it's going to continue to remain the same way. I think that, the reality of it is that as often as the board wants to hear, too, from proposals that are being discussed, those can be brought to the board as frequently or as infrequently as you'd like. We have a member of the CJC who sits as a member of your board, and Commissioner Flores has been doing an outstanding job there in terms of engagement on those issues and in terms of being able to bubble up any of those items to the board as well. So I do think that the accountability from the BCC's perspective is prescribed within the membership, and by having one of your own sit in that capacity. And when items come up, and the one good thing I think with public safety is we have a lot of resources within public safety itself, and it sort of brings all of those components together. So those additional resources from public safety are going to be lent even more so to the CJC.
Thank you, Todd. Administrator Abruzzo.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to be clear. Public safety does not drive the agenda of the CJC. Me as administrator does not drive the agenda of the CJC. The board drives the agenda of the CJC. When we're speaking about reporting, it is operational and how things are flowing through staff. So as far as the agenda advocacy, we are hands-off as far as the board's direction. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Attorney Adi, did you need to say something? Your light's on. Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And thank you, Mr. Newbold, for coming. I brought this up in our last meeting. I didn't have a full understanding of the CJC, and in the past month, I have a 50% better understanding of it. It's not 100%, but I guess my question would be, since we're looking at doing this, some of the conversations that I've had, I think maybe we need also to understand the mission of the CJC moving forward. I've gotten a lot of great information about what it's done in the past, all the great work, which is fantastic. And some of that needs to be continued, of course, but then moving forward, what is the mission of this? And then also understanding how many different seats are at the table. The state attorney, public defender, courts, law enforcement, I'm sure I'm forgetting, where it's kind of meant for everyone to be sitting around the same table balancing this. And, so it's not weighted too much in one way or the other. And the concerns that were brought to me were about putting this under public safety. Are we putting too much weight under one of these entities? And I also found out that we're using $1.2 million of ad valorem funding to fund this department. So we have a lot of skin in the game for this commission. And I guess what I'm asking for is, if we're making this change, and we have very dedicated members on this commission who want to continue the work, we have more law enforcement, as I understand, coming back to the table. This is all good. If we vote on this today and it does become under public safety, I just want to ensure that it's not something that this is, to go away, or if it is to go away, then it is to go away. If it's meant to revamp its mission or maybe get back to its core, that happen. But I don't want this to just be the end of this. I think that there needs to be a future discussion on the purpose of this, and so that everyone understands. We are putting over $1 million of taxpayer money into this, and not everyone understands what it is. I am still learning about it. And I just want to make sure that this isn't something that kind of is just going to get buried down deep in the org chart, and it loses its usefulness, because it has been very useful, and I don't want that to go away, especially if we're going to continue to fund it. And I had the question yesterday, why are we the only ones funding it? There's a lot of grant money that comes for it, so thank you for that. But we are funding it. We need to make sure that the taxpayers are getting their money's worth on this, and that they know. They need to have an understanding, and it helps for this board to know, but we need to be able to communicate that to the public. So, Mr. Newbold, did you want to respond to this?
Yes, so like speaking about grants, that's one thing too. So that would even be at the mercy of going to grants. That would go through management. Will we go for them or not? I work in reentry, and reentry is already deals with public safety. So, and things have come before the board recently with reentry, with doing the task force. So my thing is, how will the CJC remain, just the fidelity of it remain the same, but also not even just diminishing it, keeping it from nosediving? Because it's saturated. It's a department, it's 7 divisions, 256 workers now. Like, how does it work? All I just want it to be protected. I don't want it to go the way. I know y'all have difficult decisions to make, but I think it needs to be discussed more. It does need to be discussed more and be clear to know that it's going to be running right.
Would the administrator like to respond? To reassure that this isn't something that's going to just go away and we don't have future discussions?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Just a few things. Number one, public safety manages your budget already, and they manage the grant process for you already. So there would be no change, and they already have that oversight and management of it. And just to be clear, the reporting structure now, as it exists, it is under Deputy Administrator Nadler's vertical. So the only addition as far as reporting would be Stephanie would go in between. So right now it's you to Tom Nadler to me. Public safety, which manages everything I just mentioned, now will be implemented in that process. But again, would not drive the board agenda. And
Administrator, do you believe this would make it more efficient, having that same department that manages the financials of it also manage the rest?
Absolutely, Madam Mayor, including the grants, and I believe from a internal staff that reports to administration from the CJC, that the expertise, mentorship, and management of public safety and their experts at what they do is invaluable from what I've seen as administrator, Madam Mayor.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
Mr. Oswald, first of all, thank you for having the courage and the leadership to come forward and ask these questions, because I think that's what you should do, especially when you sit on a board. We also have our chair woman here from our CJC, Michelle Saskar. If would you like to come forward and say a few words? I think it would be fitting if you let this board know the work that we do, the oversight that we provide, making sure there's no inequities in our county's justice system, and but I want to give you that platform because it seems like there's some commissioners that don't quite understand our objective and what we're tasked to do.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Flores, and thank you for the work that you've been providing on our commission. We certainly appreciate it. And good morning, Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, County Administrator Abruzzo. For the record, my name is Michelle Suskauer. I'm an attorney here in Palm Beach County for the last 34 years, and I have the honor of serving as chair of the Criminal Justice Commission for a 2-year term. So I appreciate this discussion. I certainly appreciate our commission member for stepping up and asking hard questions, and I think that's very, very important, and that's what our commission does. Our commission, and I hope that you all have received all of the incredible work I think there was a 35-year perspective as to everything that the commission has done. We have a variety of different, and I'm sorry, I'm not prepared to speak, so I'm speaking off the top of my head, but it's very near and dear to my heart. We have various task forces and subcommittees. We have public and private representatives on the CJC, and we were a baby of the Economic Council in order to speak to what was going on with drugs and overdoses in Palm Beach County, and it has ballooned by the cooperative and collaborative different organizations in Palm Beach County, from the Sheriff's Office to the Palm Beach County Police Chiefs to the State Attorney to the Public Defender. to reentry, to the health district, to victims, the private sector and criminal defense lawyers. So we have a significant amount of folks on, I believe, our 32-member board and an endless number of volunteers that work on issues where we are studying issues that involve the criminal justice system, that touch mental health and behavioral health, probation, the court system. So there are, and again, I know I've met with a number of you, almost all of you, talking about criminal justice and issues that touch your districts and touch you personally. And so this is what we will continue to do. In terms of, I don't really have a lane, and I'm not speaking on behalf of the CJC in terms of where we should be in the, whether, you know, in public safety or not. I know that what we've been doing has worked exceptionally well. We work exceptionally well with our county administrator, with Mr. Bonlaren, and we are an independent board. And if we are already administered in terms of public safety with our money and with our grants, and our independence is not touched, and public safety doesn't drive our agenda, I don't see, you know, I don't personally, without speaking, I'm speaking personally, but not on behalf of the board. As long as we maintain our independence, I feel that there's no issue with it. But that's my personal opinion, and I'm not speaking on the behalf of the board.
All right. I know that we have our big workshop coming up. I'm looking at Angelique, right? We have it's days long.
February 23rd.
And our fellow commissioners are welcome to join us, correct?
Absolutely, and we are here to serve you all, and we certainly take our direction from the county commissioner in terms, county commissions, if there are any issues. But we are working very hard, and there are very significant issues that we're all working on that affect all of your districts and affect all of the citizens in Palm Beach County.
All right. I want to thank you both regarding that. I know that we were talking specifically about CJC. I know this item is an administrative item that actually encompasses the entire county. So with that being said, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Flores and a second by Commissioner Marino, but first we are going to recognize Commissioner Sacks and then Commissioner Powell.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. You're much too humble, Ms. Suskauer. Much too humble. Would you tell everybody here and the Board of County Commissioners your background, please?
I've been a criminal defense attorney for 34 years. I'm a past president of the Florida Bar, which is the third largest bar in the country. We have about 110,000 members. Some of you here are members of the Florida Bar. I have had the honor of serving as past president of the Palm Beach County Bar, and I just finished a 7-year term as chair of the board of the Legal Aid Society. I love this community, as all of you do as well, and I'm honored to serve.
We are honored to have you as chair of the Criminal Justice Commission. There is no one that I know, other than maybe me, who would be modestly, who would be as really as knowledgeable for the people of Palm Beach County. And I'm talking about as a criminal defense attorney and everything you've done for the Florida Bar. And I'm just honored that you would take this position and serve us here in the community in this very important commission, the Criminal Justice Commission. Thank you for your volunteer in this, and I'm very proud to have Ms. Suskauer as chair of the Criminal Justice Commission. Thank you so
very much, Commissioner Sacks.
Commissioner Powell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And trying to understand how this works, and I was going to ask if we're dealing with this item a little bit later under public safety. But the question I had really was, thank you for meeting with me, Ms. Suskauer, and Mr. Newbo, you called the office. I was wondering, and just for my edification, as both of you, you're the chair of the board, correct?
Yes.
And you're on the board.
He's on the executive board and the board.
So he's on the executive board and the board?
Yes, he is.
Okay, I was just want to make sure that, I don't know if you both had an opportunity to maybe have a conversation with each other to see. Oh, they can't?
Nope.
All right, I didn't know if you knew him, because when he came up, you were like our board member.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I want to make sure y'all at least knew each other, Mr. Oswald Newbold, Ms. Michelle Suskauer. So my question was, I was, of course, trying to make connections, making sure people know each other, but also trying to get to a point where we can mitigate and figure out how to move forward. And I know this item we're talking about now, the budget transfer, and we'll have the public safety item coming up in a little bit. So I was just trying to get a little bit of clarity in terms of where we're going. I know you have some legitimate concerns, Mr. Newbold. Have your concerns been addressed with the conversation that our board has engaged in, or do you still, what concerns still are outlying after the conversations we've had?
Is this discussions right now?
Yes.
What you're saying? My position is still the same. I mean, when you in this work, I live and breathe it every day. You know, I grew up in Riviera Beach. I've seen a lot with crime. So my position is still the same. I just want for me, I love my county, and the honorable board up there, thank you for your service. But I'm just saying, I just want for the CJC to be able to do its job and without any impediment, it being impeded in any way.
I'll finish with this last question, Mr. Newbold. Since you've been on the board, what has been the single greatest act that you all have done, and what are you afraid will not be able to get done as we move forward?
I haven't been on the board a super long time. When they recently added some of the seats in there, I got one of the seats recently. I can't say everything was pretty much already in place since I've been in there. No new grants, no new programs have come along that I can recall out the top of my mind. But I will say that there are very dedicated individuals in there. They believe in the work they do, and that's my thing. Many times in social stuff, people do the work, but they don't really believe in the work they do. I believe in the work I do. And that's all I just want for just the people to support us through there. And I have seen blocks before in different ways around here, so that's why I have concerns. I have seen it. It don't come outwardly, but sometimes it's just be blocks. I'm done.
Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
Thank you. Michelle, you and I have known each other a long time. One, thank you for taking on the role this year of chair. Mr. Newbold, thank you for being on the board. Have we as a board missed anything? Is there anything you'd like to add? I know Bobby asked a lot of the questions I was going to ask, so I just want to know if there's anything that we missed or anything that you feel that we need to know before we make our decision.
I think that the conversation's been robust, and I think that the main issue was addressed by Administrator Abruzzo, which is who drives the agenda of the Criminal Justice Commission, and it's the Criminal Justice Commission that drives the agenda of the Criminal Justice Commission. And again, this is another layer. Certainly, no one likes, extra folks in the mix that you have to get this approval and that approval. But if we just look at the main, if we drill down, is the independence of the Criminal Justice Commission affected by the move? And as long as the independence is not affected by the move, and that the agenda is driven by the commission and by the executive board of the commission, which is who was supposed to drive it, then what really is the change other than in the county government and whose silo we're under?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Administrator Abruzzo, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And Commissioner Powell, I would love to answer the question of achievements on the Criminal Justice Commission. When I served as clerk, I sat on the Criminal Justice Commission, and I was there in 2021 when the top brass law enforcement, both from the Sheriff's Department and West Palm Beach, walked away from the table. And although they've been present through sending deputies and/or officers, the top-level brass has been gone for years. And I think the recent achievement, starting with Deputy Administrator Tom Nadler and to Michelle, now as chair, law enforcement has come back to the table and back to the CJC. So we have a balanced discussion as the board deliberates their agenda, not administratively. So I have to pay compliments to Michelle and Tom, because that wouldn't have happened without their leadership, and things are changing at the CJC. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
So I'd like to maybe wrap up with this, since we're talking specifically CJC. We are doing an annual, what is the actual name?
It's our annual planning meeting.
Okay, so we're doing an annual planning meeting in February, where we sort of set agenda and areas that we want to focus for the upcoming year. I would welcome this board to come back, the CJC to come back maybe in 6 months and report to us. And at that time, it'll give you an opportunity to provide direct input to this board, see if you've seen any changes. I have been on the board now for a little bit over a year. At no point in time have I, or I don't think administration has given any direction of where our tasks should be. I think we're truly independent. But I want to give that board the opportunity, because there has been questions that have been raised. And I want you guys, the CJC, to come directly to this board, perhaps in 6 months, and report back to how these changes have worked for you guys. Would you guys be open to that?
I think that's an excellent idea, Commissioner. And I actually welcome it. I'd love to have Mr. Newbold as well, and we'll, would love to work on that and come back and report to you all.
Is that good for everybody? All right. Thank you.
We do have a motion and a second on the floor already. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving, okay, so it is 11:23. We are expecting a robust discussion, I believe, on the next item. So we are going to break because do you want, yeah, we can do airports. I need a motion to reorder the agenda to take airports.
So moved. Second.
To approve it. Commissioner Weiss.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve items 6B1A and B.
Second.
Oh, we have.
Right, we are in the process of reordering the
Sorry.
agenda.
I'll make a motion to reorder the agenda. Oh.
Right, so we have a motion by Commissioner Marino, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor of the reorder, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0. 7-0.
Sure. Madam Mayor? I
Yes,
think-
Commissioner Sacks?
Sorry. I don't want to have we voted? Because I think
We're
what we missed is in our last vote, we missed part of it with the renaming of the office into technology. Let me see.
We did it.
It's all into one, right?
It's all under one.
We did it? Okay,
Yes.
excellent. Okay, very good. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And so we are reordering the agenda to take airports now. I need a motion to approve item 6B1A and B.
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sacks, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. Thank you. We just did 6B1A and B. All right, so we are going to break until 1 o'clock. I will see everyone back here. Thank you so much.
And then we go back to 6A2? Okay.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Keeping Palm Beach County's Children Healthy, Safe, and Strong, presented by Children's Services Council of Palm